Welcome and good morning. It is Saturday morning, which of course right now means Meals with Melissa, which I still to this day find funny because I am not the best cook in the world, and that is why we have guests like Chef Brett Crusselle, because he is a chef, and he's going to introduce himself just here in a little bit. But what we want to talk about today is, as a matter of fact, we were just having a great conversation. Our conversation is that, food really is fuel. And so if you think about it, it shouldn't always be that it has to be the best meal you've ever had. Of course, it should taste good. Good morning, Krista. How are you, honey? But, it doesn't always have to be the most grand, crazy recipes, because most of us, that's our biggest obstacle, is we don't have time to create all these amazing meals on a regular basis. So he's going to be with us today to tell us a little bit about how to make chicken interesting and how to take some really basic ingredients and make a variety, make them taste good, give you some different ideas so that your idea of everything is too difficult. I don't have enough recipes. I don't know what to do. Keep it simple, right? I don't have time for complicated. So he's working here in the background to get things ready. We have multiple things to talk about today, so I'm super excited to introduce him. And as soon as he gets equipment, I know he's zesting back there, all these fun things that I don't do at my house. So I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about himself and what we'll be making this morning.
So, like Melissa said, I'm Brett Crusselle. I was a pastry chef for about 5 years, worked in the kitchen, grew up cooking. My mom always had me in the kitchen, so it's always been a passion for me. And, it's, once I started getting into fitness and working out a lot and doing a lot of, trying to reach different goals just for my body, my mind, my state of life pretty much, I realized that what I was eating wasn't proper. So I went out and talked to some different people, got a meal plan, and started cooking. And, at first, like she said, I've cooked in the kitchen. My meals are usually kind of intricate to a certain point. But then I kind of had to tone it down just because I'm a full-time dad, I work a full-time job out at Hanford, and I can't, be spending hours and hours in the kitchen all the time, especially if I want to, get to the gym or, do something like that. So, my meals, I really toned down. Today we're going to be doing citrus chicken. It's super easy, super quick, and a lot of flavor. We're also going to be doing chimichurri, which is great. You can use it as dressings, marinades. You can just put it, grilled normal chicken and add it to that. And then we're going to be doing what I like to call guacamus. It's a cross between hummus and guacamole. And it's just a quick snack, but you can put it on pita, you can, top chicken with it, and do whatever you want, so.
Perfect. And of course, once we're done, we will go ahead and I will bug him later today and make sure I get these recipes from him so that I can post it. And hopefully I can find the time to take a few minutes for you and give you the macros on it. Because of course, you know that it's not just about calories in and calories out. It's about the quality of those calories as well. So we'll get you some of that information. But he's been preparing this morning. I'm super excited. I'm trying to chase down. He's got this cute little cat that, let me see if I can grab her. She runs fast. Oh, there we go. And for your moment's entertainment, here's the little kitten. So super excited to be here. I contacted Brett. He does a lot of interesting, ideas for me. He loves to send me food porn, usually when I'm in the middle of competition prep, which then of course we tease each other. But really excited to be here. First of all, he does have the grill going. He's going to start with the chicken. Primarily because that will take a few minutes to cook. So if you want to take some notes, of course we will post this when we're done. So if you have any questions or want to go back through it, you can do that as well. So while he's getting ready, and just tell me when you're ready to go, because I'm just gonna keep talking because I've always got something to say, don't I? So just a couple of really quick ideas. I fully believe in food prep, and I really don't care if you are not an athlete. Because it's really important. If you take your lunch to work, you food prep. So don't be thinking that this is only for something for athletes or for crazy people. Yeah, we might be a little crazy, but it's important to be prepared. That is the number one, besides consistency that I talked about Wednesday night at my Q&A Wednesday, being prepared is such a big part of being healthy because you can't be healthy by chance. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to be prepared and live on purpose. And again, don't forget that health is a lifestyle. So, it's okay to have a free or a cheat meal once in a while, but you can't do that on a regular basis. A lot of us, for those of us that have been in the health world for a while, I eat 5 to 6 times a day. And if I'm not, number one, prepared, what happens is, well, at this point, I just don't eat because I'm not stopping at the drive-through at McDonald's. Kevin says he's here and we can start. I love that. So, you know, just being prepared, having that, and because I already know what I'm going to eat every day, I already have all of my macros worked out. I know where I'm at, and I know, again, it's not just calories in, calories out. It is about what the macros do. So for those of you who are not quite, most of us know what macros are. That's kind of a term that's been thrown around quite a bit recently. If you've been listening to the If It Fits Your Macros, all of those kind of things. The different... What?
We're ready.
Are we ready? Okay,
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later because, you know, like I said, I could talk forever. So we're going to turn it over to Chef Brett, and he's going to teach us how to make citrus chicken. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, so far what I've done is I've done a lot of what's called mise en place. So that's put in place. That's pretty much your prep to get ready for cooking. So that's why when we have certain things where, you know, making our citrus chicken, I'm going to already have my citrus zested, garlic chopped, and all the basic things out of the way, so that way when we're actually cooking, we're not fumbling to get everything done. So I've got 2 limes, 2 lemons, and 2 oranges zested in this bag with the chicken breast. I have 5 chicken breasts in here. Probably about a tablespoon of chopped garlic, salt and pepper, and olive oil, and that's it. So we're gonna take that, rub it around, get it all nice and marinated. This is kind of nice because you can do it the day before, let it in the fridge, and just kind of amplifies the flavor a little bit. We will also toss in, just for a little heat, some red chili flake, because I like things spicy.
We got lots of people tuning in here. This is awesome. Everybody's excited to find out what you're making.
Okay, and then this is just going to go on the grill. And time is of essence while we're cooking or doing anything in life, so you have to multi-prep. So that's why we're doing the chicken now. And while that's going, we can start doing some other stuff because it's just sitting there cooking.
And he is headed to the grid. Would you like to see?
So we have our grill preheated.
Perfect.
That
it's
way
a nice rainy day out there.
Chicken doesn't stick. About medium heat. The great thing with chicken is it pretty much tells you when it's done. As we're checking it, when the chicken releases off of the grates without sticking, it's time to flip.
Good tip. Perfect. Oh, that smells good already.
All right. So now we're gonna do the guacamas. This is something, there's actually quite a few recipes out there, but this one's a little bit different. Most of them tie more towards the hummus aspect, which uses tahini, which is a sesame paste, lemon, garlic, chickpeas, olive oil, stuff like that. Well, this one ties it's more lemon, cilantro, salt and pepper, cumin, coriander, and jalapeno. So we are going
I'm so lucky I get a taste test. Okay, so he's cutting an avocado, and he's got his food processor here ready to go. So I'm assuming he's going to throw it all in there and get it all mixed up.
Yep. So we use 1 can of chickpeas, which I have drained and rinsed already. We're going to use the flesh from 1 avocado.
Angie, I'm always silly. You know that.
And the great thing with recipes is you can always change them. You can always add things, you know, depending on what you like. They're pretty much just a basis. I mean, even when I was cooking in the kitchen, you know, it's hard as chefs because we want to be creative and try new things and be, you know, different from everybody else. But you think about how often we've been cooking, and everything's pretty much been made for the most part. So really what we do is we take recipes, we take ideas from other chefs or other people, and then we change it to make it a little bit different so that way we put our own take on it.
Yeah, put your mark on it.
Right.
That's awesome.
So I just added the juice from 4 limes.
He's there. I just need a bigger camera.
Got a little bit of red onion, a little bit of habanero, and more garlic.
Can never have too much garlic.
Nope. And cilantro.
So what? So this makes kind of like a almost like a dip or something to that extent. So what would you use? What would you use to actually? I guess I could be in the camera. What would you actually use to put to dip it with or use it on?
Usually I'll get cucumbers,
okay,
carrots, pepper slices, or for my son I'll give him tortilla chips, rice chips, something like that.
Okay.
So and then peas, anything like that. I mean, and then I've done like a Greek yogurt chicken for chicken gyros, and then spread this on the pita and ate that with that. So,
how long? I'm assuming you can refrigerate this when you're finished.
Mm-hmm.
So how long would it last in the refrigerator?
As long as you're not pulling it out all the time, it lasts at least like a week, week and a half.
Okay.
So
you could make a batch of it, utilize it for the next, week or so for snacks.
Right. Okay. So there, I just added probably about a quarter cup of olive oil, about a bunch of cilantro leaves. And if anyone else has a food processor, you've dropped it a few times, and so each one is a little bit different how they work.
It has to be just so, doesn't it?
Maybe.
And technical difficulties, but that's okay. Daniel wants to know avocado skin. No, it's just the flesh. Yep. Just the flesh of the avocado. Ew, maybe we'll be grinding by hand. We'll get it there. Oh, we've got it. We've got it. Oh, yeah.
Can you grab me that little container over there?
Yeah.
I don't dare stop it now.
Yeah. Now that it's going. So it looks like he's adding some spices.
Yep. So we have about 2 teaspoons of cumin, a teaspoon of coriander, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, probably a teaspoon and a half of salt, and a teaspoon of black pepper.
My friend Sandy on here says she's hungry. Well, if you want to drive all the way over from Moses Lake, honey, come on over. Okay. It looks pretty. Like I said, you could definitely make this in advance, store it in the fridge. I'm all about being prepared, making it in advance, take it with you. And come on, there's so many containers that you can, we were looking at bento boxes. That's kind of the new thing. You can put all those little sections and put something different in there. So Angie wants one of these jackets. Well, maybe we'll have to talk about that. These jackets are fun, aren't they? Just had some more made. So you just checked the chicken. It's looking pretty good, yes?
Yep.
All right.
Still not ready to flip.
That's all right. Like I said, we're making 3 things today. You get a 3 for today. So citrus chicken, the guacamas, which he's making right now, and then what was the third thing that we're going to be working with today?
Chimichurri.
Chimichurri. Oh, I've never had that. So I'm pretty excited about that.
I think it's like an Argentinian or Chilean, almost like a marinade, but put it on a lot of steaks.
Sandy says she is going to be in the Tri-Cities today. Well, if you are here right now, come on over. Okay, awesome. So like I said, sometimes people think, okay, vegetables are so bland and so boring. So this might be a great way or reason to be able to add some vegetables. Cucumbers are really great. Cut up some fresh veggies. And, you can do that in advance as well. Keep them in the fridge. They make those little containers that you can put them, all in little divisions or put them together. Kevin says he's thirsty. I'm hoping we're meaning for not alcohol, because that's not part of our meal this morning. So I used to cut up all kinds of vegetables in advance, and that way too, when my kids were hungry, because of course the difference between being hungry and being hungry is what solves it. I would tell them, just go get something out of the refrigerator, get some of the vegetables. Unfortunately, they would eat them so fast that by the time I wanted some, they would be completely gone. So you can teach your family to eat healthy by being prepared for that. So almost all my kids will actually gravitate towards vegetables at this point. Just be aware that if you tend to eat a lot of processed foods and think, oh, apparently Karen, okay, not even, okay, I'm staying out of this. I don't even remember what I was talking about now. Too many things popping up down here. Everybody's a comedian today. So what was I just talking about, Brett?
processed food.
Processed food. If you eat a lot of processed food, you know that your tongue has actually been kind of, it craves it. Your body craves it. Your mind craves it. Your body wants to release that dopamine and the sugars and the junk in there. Your body gets addicted to it. So the more that you tend to eat healthier, cleaner foods, the more you will actually taste it and they will taste good. So if you eat a lot of, like I said, processed food or sugar right now, and vegetables don't sound good, you're gonna have to actually cleanse those toxins and that junk from your system in order to actually enjoy vegetables. But it does come. I'm much more likely at this point to grab vegetables when when I'm actually hungry. And I do at this point in my life know the difference between hunger and hunger. So for those of you who have never met me, and I know Brett has kind of a similar situation. I used to be extremely unhealthy. For the majority of my adult life, I actually was, yes, Becky, we are going to be posting the recipes. For the majority of my adult life, I was actually obese. I am 5 foot, I'm not even 5'3" anymore, unfortunately. I've lost half an inch, but at 210 pounds and 46% body fat, that is not really a healthy weight or time in my life. And honestly, it's just because I just didn't know better. I just didn't have the education to know that I was not eating well and that exercise would not outdo the things that I was eating. So you could say that I was a carb addict. Anytime that I do go back to, oh, do we need to talk about chicken? We need to talk about chicken. Okay, so chicken's ready. Here we go. I need a better camera. I know.
So,
all right.
This is what I'm saying with the pulls off. When you have a lot of chicken sticking, it's not quite ready. This one was almost ready, but not quite. These just kind of pop off. You get those nice grill marks.
Yeah, it looks so good.
And so you don't want to force it. Just give it time.
Awesome. And it smells amazing.
Like Melissa's saying, I was kind of in the same situation. For a while, I was in a bad place in my life. Bad relationship, kind of monotonous job, kind of bored with myself, and I drink a lot. And I got up to 230 pounds at my max, and then cut everything out, rode my bike everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was doing over 150 miles a week on a road bike, and dropped down to like 160 pounds. But at that time, I was in the gym. I was just working a lot, and I wasn't eating a lot, and so that's where nutrition comes in. Is we were talking about before we started the video that food is fuel, and you can't look at it as just calories, but it has to taste good and has to do the good things for you. And when you're doing a lot and putting a lot of energy out, you need to have those calories come in so that to support your life and support your body.
Would you say that? And really quickly, Kevin wants to know how hot the grill is.
I have it on medium heat, so temperature-wise should be we're right about 325.
Okay. So would you say though, talking about calories in, calories out, that the energy level that you feel from clean whole foods is a lot different than when you were kind of drinking your calories and getting them in not so healthy forms?
Oh, absolutely. I can feel the difference immediately when I eat or before I eat. I mean, my body, I'm sluggish, especially when I'm low on carbs for the day. No energy, kind of almost lethargic. And then once I eat and, have those carbs, have everything, it's just complete change.
Yeah.
And anything, when I do cheat meals or, go out or anything, the level of energy, my whole body is just, it feels completely different. It's not the same if I'm eating chicken or rice or broccoli or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, and I don't know about you, I actually have to kind of almost think about how is my body going to feel if I'm going to have a cheat or a free meal the next couple of days. I know that my body's going to respond in a way that I kind of have to calculate it, right? If I'm going to, especially, I'm lactose intolerant. If I'm going to have ice cream, which he makes an amazing boozy ice cream, not going to lie. But I have to actually, really think, I'm going to be miserable for the next, 24, 48 hours because of the sugar and some of the junk that my body's just not used to anymore. Is it worth it? So, although I think that, there is a place for free and cheat meals, you just have to know that when you eat as clean as we do, that you're just going to feel not quite on your game. I call it having a carb hangover.
It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it's the sugar hangover. So really quickly, do I have a minute or are you ready to keep going?
Yeah, let's talk about this real quick and then
okay, are we making the chimichurri?
Yep.
All right, chimichurri.
This is super herby. Thing with cooking when you're making food is balancing different flavors. So you're just going to have your sweet, your salty, your bitter, your acidic flavors. And so for me, I love anything that has a lot of acid in it. So
Okay.
lemon juice, lime, vinegars, anything like that just kind of brings that different flavor to steaks. It really cuts through the fat. So on hand, I usually have probably 6 or 7 different types of vinegars. When I make salads, I make my own vinaigrettes, which is just usually, right now I'm using a pomegranate balsamic. See,
where do you get
pomegranate? This one, TJ Maxx.
Oh.
Lots of different places. And then it's just Dijon and olive oil, and then you mix it up. The Dijon acts as an emulsifier, so it allows the oil and the vinegar to kind of immerse and coagulate together. And
Okay.
So that way you don't have 2 separate liquids.
So would you say, just like everything, cooking is a science?
Absolutely.
A little bit of chemistry going on as well?
Yeah, especially when you get into more baking. Like,
Oh, definitely.
Melissa, I know you love to bake, as do I. You definitely have to have a recipe. I mean, it's just like an equation for, like a chemistry experiment. But you can always change things. That's the fun thing with cooking rather than baking is you can add different things and, it's still going to be okay and you can taste as you go. When you bake, you kind of mix all the ingredients and hope it turns out good. But if it doesn't, you try again.
Yeah.
All right, so far we've got about half a bunch of parsley, half a bunch of cilantro. I have some chopped oregano. We're going to add that together. I have a shallot, probably about 3 or 4 cloves of garlic, and a jalapeno in this bowl right here. We're going to do a little salt and pepper. I'm a huge pepper freak. So my pepper is always fresh ground. I never buy pre-ground pepper because it loses so much of its flavor.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely. And by the way, Angie would like you to know that she thinks it's awesome that you frequently wash your hands. So she's impressed right now. Okay, he's checking the chicken. Like I said, it smells pretty awesome. And apparently there's a dog outside that would like to know what we're doing. So, and Daniel's excited because he said garlic is the best. We love garlic. Garlic is awesome. Okay, it's looking pretty good.
I buy the huge bags of garlic from Costco.
Yeah.
And I can never get through a bag without it starting to go bad. So what I end up doing is what's called confit, which is a way to preserve the garlic.
Okay.
So I cook it super low in olive oil. So
yeah,
about like
yeah.
250. You make
Roasted?
like roasted garlic.
Yeah.
But when you do that and then you keep it in the oil in the fridge, it preserves it and you can.
Yeah.
But it just adds a complete different depth to anything you cook. It's not quite as spicy. It mellows it out a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Very cool. So what are we adding now?
Vinegar.
Vinegar. Okay.
So I've got some red wine vinegar and a little bit of malt vinegar. Typically this is made just with red wine, but malt vinegar adds this different kind of flavor to it. Like I said, the depth, different things. And then olive oil.
Oh, there we go. There we go. We're losing our feed. It's back. It's back. Okay.
Actually, I think the chicken's about ready.
So if you missed it, because it kind of petered out there for a second, he's added a generous amount of olive oil to that.
Yeah, salt and pepper. So that's about ready. I think our chicken's ready.
We're going to check the chicken. Ooh, Chris grows herbs all summer, so she's super excited to have something to do with it. So look at the chicken. Chicken! All right.
I do too. I just live in an apartment, but I have planters on my patio that I grow oregano, basil, thyme.
Well, because fresh herbs are where it's at, isn't it?
It is.
Well, what would be the benefit of growing your own herbs over getting them at, say, the grocery store?
Cost, first of all.
Okay, cost.
It gets pretty expensive for the herbs that we have that you buy. The oregano I bought for this was $2 for a little pack. And oregano's nice, actually. Mine's still alive right now.
Awesome.
There's not
Even
a
in
whole
the
lot
weather.
left.
So, so Kevin, really quick, he said, what did you say about pepper? So he said that if you grind it, what did you say about that? Pepper?
It just has a completely different flavor when you fresh grind the pepper compared to, and it goes, if you have a pepper mill, anything like that, it's going to have more, actually, pepper is really floral. It's kind of weird to think of it in that sense, but it has a kind of a floral smell when you grind it. And so if you buy the pre-ground pepper, you lose all of that because it just sits there.
Right.
I mean, just like anything over time, as it sits, it mellows out. You lose a lot of your flavors.
Yeah. And Danny would like to know, does the type of olive oil matter? Are you using like EVOO? Are you...
I use extra virgin.
Okay.
And I think this one's actually organic. I just buy it from Costco.
Probably depends on how much you use and whether or not it's cost effective.
It's actually, I think it's like half a gallon for like $14.
Oh yeah.
Something like that.
Okay.
It's cheap.
Awesome. Well, you probably use enough of it. It's totally
Sure.
worth it. Yeah, he's, if you want to follow him on Instagram, it is Nuke Chef Fit. And I'll post all that so you can follow him, or you can follow him on Facebook. He's constantly posting the things that he makes. As a matter of fact, sometimes he lets me steal them and post them on my pages. I have permission, so technically that's not stealing. But sometimes you just need some good ideas, or want to kind of get the taste buds going again. So he comes up with the greatest ideas, and he is not afraid to share those. So if you want to follow him, that would be absolutely great. And I'll leave that information below, along with the recipe that he's got, because of course that's super important. And I know he's talking about it as he goes, but I'm not going to remember it. So I'll ask him again afterwards. So Chris says that the benefit of using fresh herbs is quality control, like especially if you grow them, quality control, no pesticides, and the honeybees love them. So, and it sounds like it also provides kind of almost a natural pesticide that keeps the bugs away. So that's a great idea. And I know Chris is awesome. She's I've known her for years, and she loves to cook, and she makes some great things as well. So maybe you should be on one of my episodes. We might have to talk. She lives a little further away, so super excited here. He's grabbing the last of the chicken. So really quickly while he's doing that, and I know he'll come back and talk to us again in a second, but for those of you who are just unaware of what macros are, I know I started to talk about this earlier, but the different macros do different things for you. So proteins, no matter if you get them in a meat or even a plant form, protein is your muscle build and your muscle maintenance. So it's necessary to get a certain amount of protein in your diet. Carbs, well, I don't think that you should cut out a nutrient out of any meal plan. There is a difference on carbs between complex carbs and simple carbs, and of course, sugars and processed food aren't your best option anyway. But you do need a certain amount of carbs. That's your energy source, right? That's how you get a quick amount of energy, keeps you going during the day. And like he talked about earlier, that when he's doing a lot of biking or a lot of energy output, he can tell when he doesn't get enough carbs. Same here. It's very, very difficult to build muscle without eating carbs. There's just a huge difference between junk like Pop-Tarts and complex carbs like potatoes or oatmeal or something to that extent. And fats are necessary as well, because it helps run your entire system and helps balance and maintain your hormones. So, all right, it looks like he's ready to do something else. So we're just going to, I keep turning the time over to him.
We're pretty much done.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
That's, we were talking about this earlier, time utilization. So we did 3 things at once pretty much. It took us half an hour, 25 minutes actually, to make the chicken. Prepping your ingredients ahead of time and making sure that you have everything ready is super key for getting everything done in a timely manner. And so we've made our guacamayos, chimichurri, and the citrus chicken. And great thing like this chicken, I have a 10-year-old son. So when we're talking about like bento boxes, I have those for my son. I make his lunches every day. And give him a little bit of guacamayos, some cucumber slices. I'll use the chicken, make him little salads, or I do a lot with roasted turkey and make turkey salads. And
fantastic, yum.
I'll take those and make little rolls for him. But using the food that I make for my prep, making sure it's something that he'll eat as well.
That's
for a
smart.
10-year-old, he has a pretty developed palate. He was eating sushi at 7, and his first food was salmon and couscous. So
That's awesome.
yeah, he's a good kid. But I have to use everything that I make for him as well, and so
because that's just smart, right?
Right.
That's time effective. So
Exactly.
on the chimichurri, what would you use that for?
you can top it with steak. You can marinate your chicken with it. You can top your chicken. It's a great thing with stuff like this. It's really versatile. But this usually is a steak topper.
Okay.
But like I said, you can use it on anything. Turkey, you can use it. Mix your salad with it.
Perfect.
Instead of the dressing.
So like I said, one of the biggest things that people say is, well, healthy food is boring. Well, it doesn't have to be. If you do spend a little bit of time, if you are complaining about meal prep, maybe that's where you need to spend your time is, coming up finding ideas like this where you can change the flavor of just some basic ingredients so that it's super easy. You might be able to cook up an entire 10 pounds of chicken all at once and then add some different flavors like the chimichurri or the citrus marinade that he used, and keep it interesting and keep it different. And that way, yeah, you might be eating the same thing every day, but you have different flavors that you can add to that. So that makes it interesting, that makes it good, and it keeps you motivated to keep eating like that. So, you know, again, this is not my expertise. That's why I'm getting the experts involved, because why not? So we're going to be tasting this in a second. Don't y'all wish you were here? I know. Y'all want to follow me around all day, don't you? Do you have any last things to tell us, Brett, before we tune out and sign off?
No, I mean, yeah, if anyone wants to follow me, ask for recipes. I love sharing them. I have, you know, a plethora of especially baking recipes. Cooking wise, I really don't follow a whole lot. I, you know, look on Pinterest, I look on Facebook, and just kind of use that as my basis and add what I want and go from there. So
there you go. Awesome. So we're gonna spend a few minutes. I'm not gonna let you watch me eat though. So today's menu includes chimichurri sauce. That again, great steak topper, but it will change the flavor of any of the proteins that you're working with. The guacamas, which you can use as a great snack, so that you can use your vegetables and have a great flavor. And then the citrus chicken, which, you know, come on, and I love chicken. So anytime that you can change the flavors, I'm all excited to try something new. You could probably even throw it on top of a salad too, right?
Absolutely.
Grilled chicken. So thanks for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Thanks for all your great questions. And we'll keep providing this as long as you guys find some use for it. We love participating and being part of your life. So have an incredible weekend, you guys.